Now, we've seen the release of criminals from immigration detention. It's become a major issue for Labor. In the US, crimes committed by illegal immigrants is also a massive issue, particularly when the Biden administration has overseen more than 7 million enter illegally. The latest case to outrage the community is the murder of nursing student Laken Hope Riley, allegedly murdered by an illegal immigrant, but the media, including the Associated Press, referred to the man simply as Athens resident Jose Antonia Ibarra. Daniel, this case isn't isolated. The media seem to go out of their way to conceal pertinent facts they deem inconvenient to their preferred narrative.
Well, there's a real problem here, which is even the most left-leaning of states and the left-leaning of cities, New York, is starting to have serious reservations about what is happening in the United States regarding migration. I know Trump has said that he's considering doing a campaign event in New York City. Now, I don't think he can necessarily win New York State at the next election, but it shows you how bad things must be in the US. And this gets to the bigger issue. We're seeing this in Australia and across Western nations, which is when communities don't feel like they're in control of the migration program, that is when you start to get a fracturing in society and real concerns begin to emerge. We saw last year 1 million migrants brought into Australia. Now, they were done through the legal mechanism, which is the good news. But again, the bad news is that this is not being planned for and it's not being done by and large with the consent of the community.
Well, no, if we had a referendum on migration levels, I think the results would be even clearer than the Voice referendum. But neither side wants that because both Labor and Liberals seem to want this big Australian model for us. Whether, Labor obviously wants to be bigger, but both of them rely on those high immigration numbers for economic activity. Now, staying in New York, the Democratic governor of New York appeared on MSNBC to say her sanctuary city is overwhelmed thanks to the massive influx of illegal immigrants.
We are being so affected. We have 175,000 migrants who came here. They came here for a better life. They came here for a job. But our city and its resources are absolutely overwhelmed. We need a break.
Daniel, of course, she blames Republicans for Biden's policies. These blue states and blue cities want to break from the very policies that they voted for. This is the impact of the Democrats' policies.
That's right. I mean, the chickens are coming home to roost for these sanctuary cities. They've done more than anyone else to encourage the illegal influx of migration. No one's saying that you can't have proper managed legal migration. What they're saying is it's got to be controlled and planned for. You look at millions of people that are coming through the US southern border. They don't know where these people are from. They don't know where they're going. There's no way of tracking them. So you can imagine if you're not just in Texas or Arizona, they're moving all the way up into New York. If you're a family living there, you can't have any assurance that there's proper safety procedures in place to keep track of these migrants. Now, some of them may be genuine asylum seekers and they should be dealt with accordingly, but clearly many are not. And this is a huge issue.
Well, yeah, we've got a breakdown. We'll talk about this later in the week. There's a very interesting breakdown of what countries these illegal migrants are coming from. And the whole notion of seeking asylum, when it is clear the overwhelming majority, if not almost all of them, are economic migrants. They're there for a better life, that's true. They're there because there's more prosperity and opportunity there, but that is not how a migration program is supposed to operate. This story, I've got to say, I thought was a joke. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced additional support for Ukraine over the weekend, but it was this measure that had people scratching their heads. Canada will provide millions for, and I'm quoting here, gender-inclusive demining for sustainable futures in Ukraine. That includes, again, I'm quoting, establishing a gender and diversity working group to promote gender transformative mine action in Ukraine. $4 million devoted to that, Daniel. I'm having trouble understanding what that's actually achieving. Please explain it to me.
I can't even understand what those words mean when they're put together. I mean, it's difficult to know what's woke and what's a joke these days, because the further you go down this rabbit hole, the weirder it gets. And this is the problem. When you carve everything up by identity politics, when you carve everything up by gender or race or ethnicity, you end up with these plainly ridiculous policies and ideas, and you have normal people that look at this that go, well, what does this mean? Isn't the main job to make sure people are safe and get rid of the mines? Why does it matter what their gender is? So my hope out of...
So demining means we're getting rid of mining.
I
It's
assume
not
so.
actually mining activity. I'm not even sure, is this promoting mining or getting rid of mines in a non-binary way? It is.
I thought it meant like land. I thought it referred to land mines, but maybe it is actual open cut mines.
Maybe it's
but who knows?
land mines and not mining.
Who
Justin
knows?
Trudeau needs to give us a few bit more details on this bit of craziness. Now, before you go, I don't know if you're a WWE fan, but they were in Perth. It was quite a coup for the city. It's a huge thing, the WWE. Yet one of the WWE stars was not too happy to be in Perth. I think he was playing a heel here. Logan Paul was ruthless in bagging the city.
This place sucks, guys. I said, when they told me we were coming to Perth, I said, hey, we got to go to Sydney instead. I mean, even Taylor Swift went to Sydney instead of this dump. You Google, like, the top 10 things to do as a tourist in Perth. And number 1 is go visit an island full of rats. Not so different from you people, huh? We legit in the middle of nowhere. In the middle of the ocean. I swear to God, I'd rather be stranded in the middle of the ocean.
I thought it was funny, but the WA Deputy Premier wasn't too happy. She's responded on Facebook. We won't bother getting into all that. But, I mean, this is just part of the magic of the WWE. Are you a fan?
Yeah, I used to watch it a lot, actually. Back in the days of the Ultimate Warrior and those types. So I think it's sort of...
The golden days.
Those were the golden days. But, yeah, I think you're right. He's playing the heel clearly there, and they do it well. I mean, I think the WWE, whether you like it or not, is one of the greatest entertainment sort of packages put together. So he did a good job at riling up the crowd and playing the part. I don't know whether the Deputy Premier understood that it was all a part of the act or not, but I think he's done a pretty good job of his acting and so forth there.
I think so too, and Rottnest Island is a delightful place, so I'm glad he's raised awareness for the island with the overgrown rats. Daniel Wild, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.